Greetings, Pokey fans! Michael here, and welcome to a fun list video, that being 40 Pokemon whose type could change. More specifically, I'm going to be listing off 40 different Pokemon who do not have a certain type, or maybe multiple types, that would logically make sense for them to have, due to their biology, or their Pokedex entries, or movesets, or whatever. I'm not going to be covering whether I think any of these types should be changed, just, hey, this makes sense. Let's start off with number 1, that being Celebi, which could be a fairy type. Because it is literally a fairy. Are there any fairy type Pokemon that are more fairy-like than this fairy? I don't think so. The next is Zebstrika, which could be a dark type. This is due to the fact that several of its Pokedex entries discuss how it is an ill-tempered Pokemon. Delphox could be a fairy type. Delphox is a sorcerer, and magic tends to be more associated with the fairy type, while the psychic type tends to be more associated with the mind. Garchomp could be a flying type Pokemon, because if you didn't know this, Garchomp can actually fly, and very quickly at that. Shaymin could be a fairy type, since several of its Pokedex entries discuss how if it senses love and gratitude, its flowers will bloom more, which is a very fun fairy thing to do. There are several Pokemon that are not dragon types, but could be dragon type Pokemon due to their appearances and the fact that at some point or another, they were used by a dragon type specialist. Those Pokemon are Charizard, Gyarados, Aerodactyl, Lapras, and Aggron. Samurott could be a fighting type because its whole design focus is that it's a samurai that is an expert in combat, and combat's kind of the fighting type's whole thing. Similarly, Braviary could also be a fighting type since the fighting type's main focus is combat and battle prowess, and all of Braviary's Pokedex entries pretty much talk about how brave it is and how much it fights and has battle scars and stuff like that. Lugia could be a water type, because, oh my god, it's the guardian of the seas, it lives in the deep ocean, learns a bunch of water type moves, you catch it in the Whirl Islands, it's just, how is it not already a water type? Dragalge could also be a water type, since its pre-evolved form Skrelp was a water type, and Dragalge is still a completely aquatic creature. The only reason it's not a water type is because there's not room for 3 types. Real quick, just want to interrupt and shout out the M&J TV merch store. I'm rocking a shirt from it right now. If you want to pick up some cool M&J TV merch, click on the shirts that show below the video or the link in the description. Beedrill could be a flying type because it can fly. Commo-O could be a steel type because its scales are made of steel. Mega Altaria could be a flying type because it was a flying type as regular Altaria and is still flying all the time. Drapion could be a bug type. Its pre-evolved form Scoropie was a bug type. Drapion is still very clearly a bug, and is even the strongest Pokemon of the bug type specialist, Aaron. Volcarona could be a flying type because it has wings and can fly. There's gonna be a lot of Pokemon like this on this video, just heads up. Incineroar could be a fighting type. It is a wrestler, and it does fighting stuff. It definitely shouldn't be a firefighting type, but it could be. Golurk could be a flying type because it can fly. Yeah, seriously, it shoots rocket blasters out of its butt and its hands. Like, I mean, that's flying. Flygon could be a flying type since it has wings and can fly, but since it already has Levitate, it also would make sense as a bug type since it's based on the antlion, which is a bug. Noctowl could be a psychic type Pokemon because, oh my god, it learns so many psychic type moves. Ribombee could be a flying type because, yeah, you guessed it, it has wings and can fly. Cradily could be a poison type Pokemon since it releases dissolving acid from its tentacles, but it could also be a water type since it lives on the seafloor. Gengar could be a dark type because, oh my god, it is so freaking evil. It tries to curse people, it tries to kill people, it tries to curse its own freaking trainer. That is evil and dark stuff. Electivire could be a fighting type because it's a physical attacker with big fists that can also learn quite a few fighting type moves. Mewtwo could be a dark type Pokemon since it holds so much aggression and hatred for humanity. And it also has killed people on camera. That's a dark type thing, for sure. Tyranitar could be a ground type. Both Larvitar and Pupitar are ground types, and Tyranitar only lost that ground type because he got really angry and aggressive, so he needed the dark type. Volbeat and Illumise could both be flying type Pokemon, since they have wings and can fly. I actually thought they were flying type Pokemon until I started researching for this video and then realized they weren't. Latios and Latias could both also be flying type Pokemon, since they fly. They do that a lot, actually. You fly around the Hoenn region on their backs. Dragon and Psychic make a lot of sense, but so does flying. Armaldo could be a water-type Pokemon since it hunts for its prey in the sea. Haxorus could be a steel-type since while its face tusks aren't technically metal, they are hard enough and sharp enough to cut metal, so they may actually just be this undiscovered type of metal. Genesect could be a flying type since, big surprise, it can fly. Naganadel could also be a flying type since it can fly. Golurk could be a Psychic-type Pokemon, since it learns a lot of Psychic-type moves, and we have seen it use Psychic powers before. Gligar could be a Poison-type Pokemon, since its Pokedex entries discuss how it injects poison into its prey. And finally, Kangaskhan could be a Fighting-type Pokemon. It learns quite a few Fighting-type moves, and several of its Pokedex entries discuss how it will fight really hard to protect its young. And it's definitely a more up-in-your-face combat-type Pokemon, so to me, Fighting type would make sense. So there we have it. Those are 40 Pokemon whose types could change. Let me know down in the comments below if there's any other Pokemon that you can think of that I didn't cover. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see some more of my Pokemon content, I recommend this video here. All right, that's all I have for now. So until next time, Pokefans, gotta catch them all.